Good morning once again, and thank you so much for keeping it on UBC TV. You know it is Christmas time, and of course, even the music we are playing here, you saw the Santa Claus song there, and it is all people in the Christmas mood. But at this particular time of the year, we are having so much rainfall. We've had floods and losses of lives. Today in the studios, we are privileged to have a weather analyst from the National Meteorological Authority. And he's here to explain to us, to make us understand why are we in such a situation, and maybe how best can we adopt or can we be safe in such a situation. And that is Mr. Nsubuga Yusuf. You're most welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
How is Entebbe?
Entebbe is fine.
It's fine.
Yes.
Well, and Felix, that is my colleague with whom we do this show together every weekday. To begin with,
Yes.
today we are seeing losses of lives. Where in Uganda, when we expect rain, we don't get rain.
Yes.
If we get rain, it is either above normal, below normal. Normal rain now is not something that we get in Uganda.
Yes.
But all this, people have this talk, climate change, climate change. That's why we're having these floods, climate change, climate change. So can you begin by explaining to us the meaning, this thing called climate change?
Climate change. When we talk of climate change, we are looking at the change of the climate from the climate pattern for some good period of time, which can be caused by natural factors and artificial factors. Yes. The natural factors, we can have the volcanic eruption, and then the artificial one is mostly caused by the human intervention. Yes.
Okay. Having you explained to us climate change. So what is happening in Uganda today? How can we relate that to climate change?
First of all, we need to know what climate is. When we talk of climate, climate is the average weather condition that is recorded for a long period of time, usually 30 years. What is happening now in Uganda, the weather which we are experiencing now, it is also related to climate change, simply because that when you are looking at the climate or the weather as well, we also look at some factors which influences the climate of a given region, especially the sea surface temperatures. Like as we talk now, we are having changes in the sea surface temperatures over the oceans, like Indian Ocean. Mostly we are benefiting from we can be benefiting others are not benefiting, they are crying, but others are saying it is okay for us to have the rights. We are having the increase in the sea surface temperatures over the eastern part of the Indian Ocean. And the other part of the Indian Ocean, the temperatures are low. Okay? So what is happening is that the two are connected, whereby when the temperatures of the other side of the ocean are cool and the temperatures on this side of the ocean are warm, then we have a lot of rains in these areas now. Like as we are having all this because of the temperature rise over the eastern part of the Indian Ocean. And that's why we are very, very wet, and some areas are so flooded in this period of time.
Yes, Felix.
It's from the explanation you gave about climate, because for our viewers to understand this whole anomaly, climate, and now that it's becoming a problem, springing from actually the most recent, you saw what happened in Bududa, a couple of years ago, same situation, now in Bondibojo, just to mention but a few.
Yes.
You did talk about causations of human activity.
Yes.
And for us, this is one of our most important aspects. How have we, as a country, you can talk about policy, laws, activities, or any kind of all these. How have we been contributors to this? Because at this point, we can only highlight the negative impacts.
Yes.
What is our contribution? You can talk about policy, you can talk about behavior, What are we doing that is impacting climate change as a country?
As a country.
Yes.
Yeah. One way that is impacting on climate change is actually doing the deforestation.
Deforestation, yes.
Yeah, and also practicing poor methods of farming.
Oh, like?
Overgrazing, and also cultivating in areas that are prone to flooding. And at the end of the day, what will happen is that the soils will weaken. And then when they weaken, mudslides will occur.
And this is what is happening in Bududa and Bundibujo most recently.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, in response to bad climate, people are also using poor farming methods. And this is very important for the people in Bundibujo when you do take note.
Yes.
So what you mean to say, Mr. Nsubuga, is that over time,
yes,
if you use land for farming over time,
yes,
it weakens its...
Yeah.
Okay.
And even when you look at the deforestation, you find that the trees help in compacting the soils together. But if we keep on deforesting, cutting down the trees, you find that now they help in compacting the soil. At the end of the day, if the soils are not being compacted together, they become loose.
They give away.
They give away.
Okay, that best experience to places like Bundibujo, in Kasese, where most of these areas previously, people weren't even settling there.
Yes.
People aren't allowed to settle there. In other areas, even the forest cover that we had on these hills, on these tough slopes, all this has been cut down for charcoal, for cultivation, and using poor methods of farming, like Mr. Nsubuga said. But Mr. Nsubuga, when you look at one of the things today, you explain climate that this is said after a long period of time, 30 years, that now we come to realize that this is not the kind of climate we used to have.
Yes.
It has changed. Seasons have changed and all that. 30 years to get to where we are today.
Yes.
Are there ways that we can minimize such incidents from you, the experts? Because if we have taken 30 years to get to this, then it seems we may not be able to change situations, maybe relief aid.
What can be done now is to ensure that we use climate information whenever it is given out. Of course, like when we tell you that we're expecting a lot of rains, then what you have to do is actually to take rescue. Okay? Already we have places like we have saying that the soils have weakened. Now when we tell you that in these areas we expect a lot of rains, take rescue. Okay? And also do plant the trees as well. Okay? Because you find that we are having these rains, a lot of it, but at the end of the day, they might be helping us to recover our vegetation. Okay? Because now, when there's a dry season, of course, we find no whatever. So we'll utilize these rains as well as to plant more trees in those areas.
Okay, there's been a confusion, Mr. Nsubuga.
Yes, please.
So 2 words, and I know our viewers would really want to appreciate. The word weather
Yes.
and climate.
Yes.
If you could help our viewers and ourselves understand the difference and what affects the other,
Okay.
then maybe we can also pick it from there to understand weather and climate
Yes.
and what affects the other.
Okay. When we talk of weather, we are looking at the state of the atmosphere, okay, that is determined or recorded for a short period of time. And when you are looking at the weather, we look at the atmospheric parameters, okay, like rainfall. We look at temperatures. We look at the cloud cover and also the wind, to mention but a few. And when you look at climate, as I said, it is the average weather condition recorded for a long period of time. So what does it mean? It means that weather is a subset of climate. If you want to know about climate, you must average the temperatures for say 30 years, the rainfall say for 30 years. If you have established that the climate of this area, the rainfall, let me look at only the rainfall. The rainfall here, we always receive say 1,000 millimeters, okay, maybe in a year. I'm just giving an example. But again, when you with some time again, you do the average, okay, and you find that either it has gone down or it has increased, okay. Then you ask yourself, what is happening? What has caused this? You get it? Because the climate itself for the 30 years will be like the normal, okay? What people should experience, okay, on a normal basis.
Yes.
But if it either goes up or down, then you have to ask yourself, what is causing this?
Abnormal.
It's abnormal or below normal, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Subuga, you've mentioned a very, very important issue.
Yes.
That is expert information.
Yes.
That this is the only way that we can either reduce or be able to prevent, or when they happen, reduce the magnitude of the effect.
Yes.
So this is one of the things that I want us to look at, expert information. First and foremost, expert information must be right information.
Yes.
You come from the meteorological department of this country.
Yes.
Have you done Ugandans due diligence in time of giving timely
Yes.
and accurate information so that we can respond to your messages?
Actually, our mandate is to give timely, I'm just summarizing, timely and accurate weather information, weather and climate information to the country for sustainable development. Okay? So we as an authority, actually that's why we are actually made an authority, so that we can improve on giving timely and accurate information to all the users of this information. So we as a country, we as an organization, we are doing this. And we are being also regulated by World Meteorological Organization as an international body, okay? We don't do our own things like as Uganda National Meteorological Authority, but also we are being regulated by a world body, which is World Meteorological Organization.
Okay. Now, that all being said,
yes,
there are so many challenges or contributors to the kind of challenges that we have today.
yes,
One, let's look at our policies, our laws.
yes,
When you look at, to give an example, look at wetland management in Uganda, knowing how much wetlands can be an aid to good climate. Look at how our policies as a government or as a country,
yes.
look at land laws. Do you think as the department or in your own wisdom that these laws, these policies are doing justice to the kind of work you ought to be doing? And if yes or no, what do you do about it?
For us as an authority, for us is to give information.
And that's all.
Yeah, that's information. We are like when talk of climate change, for us we are only looking at the science part of it. We are able to give the projections and also to give what is happening. Then the climate unit at the Ministry of Water and Environment is the one that deals with the policies. I'm just giving an example on the side of climate change. And other departments or other authorities like NFA, okay? For us, when we give them information, it is upon them to use that information. Of course, like other authorities, they derive their mandates from us. So if we don't perform very well to them, they also not achieve their mandate.
This brings me to a question, Mr. Ansrubuga. Yes. I was in Bududa when the floods occurred. And one of the things that amused me was that you had delivered information in time.
Yes.
You even set out alerts.
Yeah.
You set out warnings.
True.
But unfortunately, this incident occurred.
Yes.
What is your chain of sending information? And when you send this information, have you seen reactions in a positive manner to what you've given? Because you're to warn us. You tell us Chirabo, where you're seated, anytime that thing is falling in, and you lose your life. But the question is, do we respond? Don't we understand the messages?
Really, we as an authority, as you have stated it, we come up with the alerts, the warnings, and give it out. Okay. So, like for the Bududa case, that is not our mandate, mind you, to now say, please leave. We shall be approaching on somebody's mandate. That is OPM. Okay? So we just only need to work together with OPM, Office of the Prime Minister. When we give the alert, they are the ones ask us now, you have told us ABCD. What do you expect? Do you expect this to continue or to reduce? Okay? So when we expect it to continue, then they have to make sure that the resources are available to rescue whoever is in that area.
Okay, if you're comfortable to say, over time,
Yes.
have you seen positive response to your alerts and your messages?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. In these incidents we are seeing, did you give information? Did you send the warnings in time?
Yeah, we gave it in time. Yeah, and with the kind of the environment we are in, we are in the IT era now. The information is very fast than before. Making a call, and then you read, but nowadays, just send on an email to very many offices, very many departments.
How easy is your information to be? I looked at some of your reports that on the internet,
Yes.
on your website, and I want you to explain to us this fact, these words and what they mean.
Yes.
You have a scientific language that when you're sending out, at times, these alerts, away from the radio messages we hear, these are the terms: above normal rainfall. Now, when I'm in Bududa, and to have you are watching, and you get a message, or you read on the internet, and you find that areas in Bududa will receive above normal rainfall. Areas and you get regions, areas the western something. You don't use speech. You don't mention sometimes the actual places. Use regions. Regions below this area will get normal rainfall. Then regions in the Nile Basin, these are the ones you're talking about, will get below normal. Then you mention above normal 1,000 mil, something. First of all, explain these terms, normal, below, because a friend of mine was saying, now, what is above normal? Okay, normal, yes. Below normal, and what their impact is, because this is how you package your alerts.
Okay. First of all, as we started on, when we are looking at the climate, remember when we look at the climate, what climate is. And we're explaining that the climate, always look at rainfall, say the normal rain, okay? Should give you the climate condition of that given area. But now, when the expected rainfall is below the normal one, according to the climate of that area, then we say that according to what you usually expect, okay, in this area, we are going to get less, okay? Then that means it will be below
normal.
Below normal. Below what is expected.
So this ranges from area to area?
Yeah, it ranges from area to area.
In central Uganda, we could be getting so much rainfall.
Yeah.
And when you use the word below normal, it means we are going to get less. So it's not universal. Whereas in Bududa, when you talk about below normal, it could mean that it's going to be too much rainfall.
Yeah. And when we are stating that, because we have to first look at the contributing factor. What is going to contribute to the low, to the below, the normal, and above normal? Okay? So we have to look at what will be the contributors. Okay? Depending on the moisture availability and also the wind flow. Because what the viewers should know now is that actually what determines the climate or the weather of a given place, it is the wind regime, how the winds flow. If we are having winds which are moist, which are coming over that given area, then you expect a lot of rains. And if you're expecting dry winds, then you expect drought or dry. or dry conditions. So we look at the flow of the winds, okay? And this has to be monitored on a daily basis. Of course, when we give our season, we don't just sit and say, okay, we said we are going to have above normal rains. Is it going to be, should people now be worried that the whole month I'm going to be in a floods, now where will I sleep? So that's why we had also what we do, we break down
in
the season,
3 months.
which is 3 months, in 2 months, and also what we do, we also give 10-day forecast for every month, so that people know that maybe towards the end of October, I'm expecting less rainfall. I can do something now. Then after that, also now we give another one, maybe at the beginning of November. You might find that maybe what was expected at the end of October is the same as the end of the beginning of November. Then you continue with the business as usual. Then when you expect a lot of it in the middle, then you adjust what you have been doing. If you are stocking maybe a lot of goods, which can easily go bad, then you change now, you stock other goods that can make you go through that kind of weather. Then from that one also we issue 5 days, maybe a day. Now we are giving 6 hours, okay, for the media
so this
house.
can help a person, if that vacate an area, know that maybe for the first 2 months, I stay at my cousin's place, maybe in Kampala.
Correct.
This special time, I can come back. But Mr. Nsubuga, with all this information given, and my colleague and I and the viewer would wonder, if we have an institution in this country that gives us accurate information, and we are handling lives of people, why then haven't we seen these situations preventable with science, with the knowledge, with information? Then what would be the local man's input?
What we need to do is to make a lot of awareness and sensitization. If this is done, you find that people will be able to actually appreciate the use of this climate information. So they will be able to know actually that when I'm given this, okay, I will be secure. Like, let me tell you now, there is a product we are issuing over the Lake Victoria, marine forecast. If I can tell you what it has done now, than before we are not issuing. But through the UK Met and WMO, they were able to sponsor for us, to give us money to actually start that product. As we talk now, people are very happy with what we are giving them. Even we used to have loss of lives over the Lake Victoria, but now they have reduced. Before even they go to the lake, they first look at what has been given to them, okay? And what is also happening is that also we get feedback from them, telling us the weather has been okay. And even what we are also now planning to do is now to try to link, okay, the weather given and also the activities which are going to be done. How will the fishermen, for example, benefit in the long run? Yes.
But something also we must understand now, when you're giving these reports, do we have a situation whereby you highlight some of the dangers? Because for us to have this information substantiated or useful, it shouldn't just be at the face of it. That, for example, you say we shall have rainfall above normal. Let's imagine in regions like Ududa or that particular region. Do you ever give some, probably break it down and say, because it is per region, you may have rains above normal in Uganda and it's normal because of probably the terrain and a bit of organization, the drainage and all this kind of thing. But when you have rainfall above normal in places where we have seen like Bududa, in a case, if you take that as a case sample, do we ever go an extra mile as an institution to also let them know that, look here, because of this kind of settlement you have, because of the kind of soil you have, because of these activities, you are more prone to danger, because this will be helpful. I don't know if you do it, but just how do you deliver this information? Is it just at the blanket, we have rainfall above normal? How is the information? Because that will inform us how effective the message will be?
What we do, like for the seasonal forecast, before it is released, of course it is done, of course when you look at the weather, okay, it is actually global. So we look at it from a global perspective, we move to regional, and now after when we have looked at regional level, then we come down to our country. So before we release that seasonal forecast, what we usually do, we downscale. And during the downscaling, we call all the stakeholders also to look at what we are going to issue. And what will happen is that when we are sitting maybe in some area, somewhere, so what they do, we ask also them to give us their advice, the advisories on what we are expecting. So they are the ones actually who gives us the advisories of what is expected. Like for the agriculture sector, they will give in their input that if we are having this kind of rains, this is what will happen in these areas. We expect maybe abundant harvest or reduced harvest.
But do the people receive this information, the people on ground, do they get this information well packaged to inform them of an action to take? Because today morning we've been looking at some of the causes or the reason as to why people have refused to be displaced or what you can or moved from one place to another. You'll find that people have refused, and you know this, like in where Bududa, even the people have just refused because maybe they don't understand. There's no one to break down this information. Because do the people get this information?
Yeah. Of course, what is happening is that it is a challenge, okay. But what we have done now, we are trying to do break down this information to maybe to use the media, okay.
Okay, to simplify it, Mr. Nsubuga,
yes.
What is your chain of flow of this information, and do you bother to break this information in a language that a layman can understand?
Yes, we are doing that. Like for the seasonal forecast, we are able to translate it into 35 languages, okay? 35 languages.
Cover all the regions.
Yeah, that covers all the region.
That is
so
good.
what we do is that we send, okay, an audio, okay. If you cannot be able to read, you can be able to listen the audio, okay. Like maybe in Runyankole or in Lango, okay. So we are able to translate.
And
now.
what methods do you use to get this information to the people? Because I know when you get this information, usually it goes to the office of the Prime Minister, isn't it?
Yes.
Then thereafter, where does your level of sending the message end at?
Okay.
That's what we want to know, that chain. But when we have a release, we give, or when we record these messages, how do they trickle to a Felix, a villager in Bushenyi there deep, who grows sweet potatoes?
Okay. For us, when we give this information, especially to the agriculture sector, is that it reaches to the production officer and the natural resource officer. So these people will be now the one to give the extension workers, and the extension workers will take it down to those who are to benefit out of it. That's what we are doing.
Now I see where the problem is. Well, I must remind our viewers that you'll be able to call in and be part of this discussion. We have an expert that is in analyzing the climate and what you're experiencing in the country today. We've seen even losses of lives, we've seen floods. Many areas are getting what we call above normal rainfalls. That means when you look at the rainfall these areas have been having for a particular period of time, a long period of time, the rains they're getting are excess compared to what they are more than what they have been receiving. So this is the danger we are having. But he's here to explain to us, and one of the things that Mr. Nsubuga, you've told us that I feel scared, is the chain of flow of this information. When I was growing up in a village in Seguku there, we could see extension workers. These guys had motorcycles. They would come, ask you with your parents, then, hello, we've come to tell you there is rain, so they would even visit your gardens. Today, despite government having given these people even motorcycles, monies, you will receive from our callers. Do we see these people? They're so much into conferences, workshops, and they're not on ground. And Felix will agree with me. Even when you go to government programs, that people are paid to be agricultural advisors. And Mr. Nsubga, if you're a farmer, you'd also confess to this. They are never there. So now, if information does not trickle down to the layman, a person in Iwundibujo, I was looking at some of the clips and they ask, were you warned? And a whole LC1 chairman says, we didn't know.
Yeah, actually, if I can add on what you are saying, that's why we are now using the media to actually help us do that. Because like now, as we are here, I know very many people are listening.
Yes, and watching.
So what we do, after we have released the forecast, we also go on TVs. We go to different radios as well, okay, to explain what is expected. That's what we are also doing. Because as you have said, that one might not be helping. So what we have done is also to encourage to actually be involved in the media. Like for the marine, what we are doing is that we are using the WhatsApp. We didn't know that people over the lake, they have smartphones until when we carried out a study and found that people have smartphones. So at the National Meteorological Center, when the forecaster makes a forecast, sends it to the WhatsApp group, and very many people receives it. Okay? So we are encouraging now, we are using actually the media more as well.
Well, it's time you can be able to call in right now and be part of this show. The number is 0702 23 24 25. That is the number to call in, and you can ask Mr. Nsubga a question, part of the discussion, supplement, throw more light, give us what you're going through, because almost in many parts of this country today, they're having this problem. I was speaking to a friend of mine from Karamoja, one from Teso, Mr. Moding, and he was telling me we planted cassava, but unfortunately this time around, we may get nothing. Seems the entire country has been affected by rains above normal. We need to know what you're going through and a question to our expert. That is the number. It is on your screen. You can call in, just move away from your screen or reduce the volume completely, then call. We shall get you and we shall respond to what you'll be asking. Yes, Felix?
No, I just want to ask Mr. Nsubga here that given all these challenges we go through, we have lost a number of people, lives have lost, families, displacement, movement of people from one place to another. How ready are we as a country, given what you see as a Ugandan, the level of deforestation, abuse of wetlands, just to mention but a few, what are we heading for? Should we be concerned? Should we be worried?
Yeah, because
should we enact some good laws? What is your recommendation as an expert? Aren't you worried yourself?
I'm also worried. Yeah, I'm worried myself as well. What we actually need to do is that the established laws and policies should actually work. Otherwise, if we have the policies, we have the laws in our books, in our wardrobes, but we are not implementing them, then we expect to have the worst. And on the global perspective, what is happening is actually every year, they are reporting that the temperature is increasing. Every year the temperature is what? Is increasing. So also when we hear this from a global perspective, then we should actually learn, we should also use that as a lesson. We say now what we need to do as a country.
So more of these are likely to keep on occurring?
Yeah, to keep on occurring. So we need to revise means on how we can actually adapt.
What are some of the means through which adaptation methods that we can take on as Ugandans, if this is to stay?
Yeah, of course, some of the adaptation measures which we need to actually to use is we need actually to we need generally to be able to listen just giving an example, to be able to actually take this climate information as part of you. When you are given the climate information, just use it the way it is given to you and have your lives change.
Let me just get an example, Mr. Nsubuga. I am a resident of Bundibujo.
Yes.
I'm home listening to TV or radio, and this is what I get. People of this region, first and foremost, I don't know why you don't sometimes choose specific districts and name areas, but you go to terms of regions in your reports. But people of this region, you're expecting rains above normal. Sometimes you call them climate alerts.
Yes.
And a radio in a local language say, I'll use my language. So after I've heard this, I cannot maybe move from this area. What should a person do? They get the information, yes. Maybe sometimes you like plant crops. I hear some of those messages. Plant crops that can take like a few months to mature because the rains will be short. If they are going to be long, now you can plant trees and all this. So what comes to my mind? I would look at strategies like afforestation,
Yes.
not cultivating in such areas.
Right.
But even with these, you know, climate change has a problem. That Felix's activities affect me, even if I'm safe.
True.
Even if I practice good farming. Even if I don't dig on a slope. And my neighbor is cultivating because that is their land. I will get the effect if I'm staying down slope. When you look at our level of industrialization, which is a priority, we had Namanve. We grew up knowing that these are some of the areas, catchment areas. Go to Garden City, go to these swamps. Then we are giving them away for development in the name of investments and all investors and all this job creation. Do you think a layman has a big contribution in adaptation and limiting these incidents compared to government and government bodies like the NEMA, National Forestry Authority, Uganda Investment Authority?
Yeah, the layman. Also, actually, it depends on the level of poverty. What is happening is that people are. This is happening because of the level of poverty. So you might tell somebody that, please, don't do this. But because he's poor, he's looking for what to eat, and at the end of the day, we'll encroach on the forest.
Well, let me first get one caller online. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, please just give me your name, where you're calling from, and just move away from your TV set so that we can get you very well. People like our district councillor from Kagadi there, I know you always want to give me this. I want to hear from the people of Kagadi also as well. Hello? Hello? Okay. Good morning. Hello? Yes, give me your name and where you're calling from. You're called Alex?
I'm calling from Bali.
Yes, Charles from Bali.
I have some questions I want you to know from that gentleman.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
One, when do you expect this rain to stop?
Okay.
Then another one. When do you expect the next rain to begin? For example, next season, when do you expect the next season to begin? Are we going to have a normal drought? Are we going to have normal seasons like we have been having before? Then lastly, where do we get the information about weather? If we have to do farming, at times we get problems because we don't have where we can ask. How do we go about it? When do we expect to rain? Do we expect the drought? Things like that. How do we help? How can that gentleman help us?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles from Bali, for those very interesting questions to Mr. Nsubuga in studios. We are receiving callers, and please, you'll be able to call in. I would like so much to hear voices of people in affected areas also as well. Good morning to you.
This is Livingston Akogiziwe, district councillor from Kagadi.
Yes, Livingstone.
I want to thank you for the program. I want to thank Felix and our guests today. When it comes to this issue of climate change, you come in with the issue of mudslide, the issue of heavy rain. I want to do this on we politicians. But when people encroach on those wetlands, you find that trying to cover them up. Without knowing that these are the same people, when rains come, they are going to be affected. But for us, we see it in terms of votes that if I tell these people, please go to forests, mountainous areas, I have to lose votes. But in that sense, failing to come and tell these people that this is bad, you're not supposed to do that. For example, in Uganda, people who are relocated, you find that people are still even going into those places. Some of those people who are relocated, you find them go into those places, which is we as politicians, we also fail to guide our people and telling them the truth. Then the second, when you look at the NEMA and the National Environment Management Authority, they have played a very big role when it comes to encroachment of these wetlands, because these wetlands have been encroached at their watch. They have not done anything. You see, so you find that they have played a very big role in trying to sabotage and trying to conflict with nature. Then the Uganda Investment Authority give out wetlands for development. They give out wetlands to investors. We don't know. When you look at Kampala, when it rains, you see water is everywhere. You see, people have built growers, have built buildings in wetlands. So there is no way you can fight that for as long as you're trying to conflict with nature. I want to thank you, Robert.
Okay, thank you so much, Livingstone, and hope the people of Kagadi are all watching. Since you're a district councillor, keep on mobilizing them never to miss watching UBC TV and this morning show, where their councillor even airs out their views. We really commend you for being a leader who takes opportunity wherever it is. Well, you mentioned some of the issues went. Oh, hello, good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning. Oh, sorry, had a holiday maker on the phone there trying out. Yes, that is the number for you to call on UBC TV. But you must call and have a question or have something. You must be following holiday bakers. Yes, all wait for it. Yeah, sure. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Please move away from your TV set. Yes, if you're going to call, please reduce the volume of your TV set, or turn it even. You can completely turn it off and just move away. Then we'll be able to get you. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Mbale.
Yes. Your name?
Let that officer be direct. He should carry out evaluation. Let him go on the ground and find out from the people. But instead, when these people they come, they don't go on the ground. They stop just on the way, saying that the place is in an outrage. So there is need for them to go on the ground deep.
But I didn't get your name, gentleman.
I'm called Robert.
Okay, Robert from Mbale. Thank you, sir. Okay. Robert, thank you for that contribution. He says you guys have to be on ground, just as we saw here. We have Mbisiwe who called in, Charles, and of course Robert. I'll pick one more caller, then I'll come back to Mr. Nsubuga in studios here to respond. Hello, good morning. Hello? Please move away from your TV set, or step away from your TV set, or completely turn off the volume, then we will be able to get you. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Is this UBC?
This is?
Yes, it is UBC.
Hmm?
It's UBC TV.
Yes, I'm calling. I speak to the current.
Yes, you can contribute.
About the program on climate change.
Yes. But please reduce the volume of your TV or step away. Reduce the volume of your TV, then you can continue. Comrade, please move away from your TV set.
Yes, I've reduced and I've stepped away.
Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm asking now, I'm using trend analysis and I'm looking at the rain that is pouring and pounding, so much of it, and I'm wondering whether next year there will be any rain.
Okay. Your name and where you're calling from? Your name and where you're calling from? Okay, thank you for your contribution. We didn't get your name and where you're calling from, but please, viewers, kindly step away from your TV set. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is UBC TV.
Morning, sir.
Morning to you.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Please reduce the volume of your TV set.
Okay, my name I'm called Sam.
Yes, Sam.
I'm calling from Brandon.
You're calling from?
I'm calling from Brandon. Yeah, it's the issue of about the rainfall.
Okay, Sam from...
That issue. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, the issue that the rainfall, the cause is on the government. The government has not set up the good setup for that rainfall. Now the rainfall it has now increased the volume, but the government doesn't have a program. How is it going to help people who are in flood, maintaining road, and now the problem is with the government. Because I said that now it could be good to have enough rainfall, but also the government should now raise up and set up the settings how it's going to help people.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sam from Mubende. You're wondering which government programs and how they're going to help people that have been affected. Allow me hold calls for this moment so that we can get reactions and response from Mr. Nsubuga. Mr. Nsubuga, let's our first pick calls that directly come to your docket. We had Charles from Mbali. He asked, when are the rains going to stop? When are we getting the next season? And also, where can they find this information?
Okay. For this season, as it was predicted, we expect these rains actually to continue up to the end of this month. Of course, we are looking at the season of September, October, November, December. Okay? So we expect the rains to continue for this season. They are still going on.
And they are above normal?
They are above. What is happening is that in the north, we expect them to reduce.
In the north?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And of course, what happened is that the season, the normal season, should be that the rain should be going to the southern hemisphere now. Okay? Southern summer. And we expect much of the rains to be reported actually over Tanzania. Okay? Tanzania will be reporting more with time than Uganda and Kenya. Okay? So, like around 22nd of this month, you will start hearing a lot of rains in Tanzania than in Uganda. Okay.
So let's look at what is ours.
Oh,
so we are
as-
in December.
Yeah, in December.
And people now, people are moving up country for Christmas.
Yes.
That is why we need this information.
Yeah.
Basically for us, which areas are we expecting to
Maybe you can
have
break it
so
down in
much
regions.
rain and how long it's going to take, maybe in regions, to give
As you said,
for the
north-
travelers.
The travelers
As you said, in the north, it is expected to
reduce.
reduce.
Yes, yes.
And in the western part of the country,
The western part, we expect it to continue.
to go high. a bit,
To continue, yeah,
Continue.
to continue,
Areas like
especially
Bugunda, Vundibujo.
especially
The Chigezi region.
the Chigezi region.
Okay.
We expect more of it, and then around the lake, we expect also it.
And the central region here,
That
Yes.
is around the lake.
Around the lake.
around the lake, yes.
Yes.
And about the west,
The west we still expect, yeah.
and the eastern part, because
Eastern part, maybe areas of Moroto, we might just have some occasional rains, but not as much as
and all
expected.
this is in December.
Towards the end of this month.
December. So we expect the rains to come down.
To come
in
down.
early next year, probably January. or
Yes,
February, you must
yes,
say.
yeah.
Okay.
So next season, you also
Yeah,
ask
so
me-
what will happen is that the January, Feb, we don't usually give a season or whatever. What we do, we usually give monthly updates.
Oh.
So then we expect to have the full seasonal outlook for March, April, May.
Because usually, maybe point to our listener, our viewers, usually have 2 rainy seasons.
Yeah.
That is the March to
May,
May.
yeah.
Then again, you have
September
to December.
to December.
Okay. Also, where do people get this information?
Yeah.
Charles asked, the information we've been talking about. He's wondering, for example, in Bale, where do we get this information?
Information, you will get it. You can get it on our website.
Jesus.
Our website, you can get it, and also you can get it from the production officers, agricultural officers, where
So, Mr. Nsubuga, when people want this information, they either go to your website, go to agriculture officers
yeah,
at the districts.
at
And
the
also
districts.
probably listen to weather forecast.
And also listen to the
Watch.
weather folks, UBC.
Yes. How many? Okay. Okay.
Livingston from Kagadi, this may not be directly to your area, but he says politicians have not done us justice.
Definitely.
And he also talks about institutions like NEMA, NFA, and the Uganda Investment Authority, that their priority is not... What can you add? I just want to get your comment, your reaction to this.
I beg your pardon?
NEMA, that's an authority.
Government institutions.
Government institutions mandated
to help.
to see that they regulate activities that occur in our environment so that we do not end up in disaster. They're not performing, that's what he says. Do you succumb to the same school of thought?
Generally, of course, to me as a Ugandan, when this is happening, I have also to make an alarm. Why should I leave maybe NEMA to come and clear the swamp, which I know that tomorrow is going to be helpful for me? Yeah, I have also to report to the nearby office, maybe the leaders or even the police itself, because I know tomorrow I will be affected. The one who is clearing might not be there. So my advice is that also we should lose.
Be interested.
The community should be interested.
Then we had, Livingston brought out, then we had Sam from Mubende. He also asked information, that is a problem, and government programs aimed at helping people in these areas. Do you know of any government programs for us that maybe at such a particular point, really we've seen government strongly moving ahead to solve the situation, apart from Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, Red Cross, and maybe police at times?
Yeah, there is especially in dissemination of this information, there is what they call action aid, new vision. They are helping us in the dissemination of this information. Even actually, when I talked about packaging this information in terms of audio, in the local languages, those government agencies per se, they are helping in that aspect.
Okay, well, time is not our best ally, and Mr. Nsubuga, as you wind up,
yes, please.
Can you please give us your final message to Ugandans in regards adaptation and trying to mitigate the effects of climate change?
What I would say all to Ugandans, that they should actually use climate information in their day-to-day operations. And what they should also do is that they should listen to those agencies or government programs that are aiming at reducing the effects of climate change. And even when advised to plant crops that can grow in the era of climate change, they should do so. And where they're encouraging campaigns of tree planting, please they should plant the trees. But what I should also discourage is planting the eucalyptus trees. Those are not good climate-friendly trees. Should plant trees that have big leaves that can help us in actually modifying the climate where they are. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. And of course, all said by the weather analyst, that is from the National Meteorological Authority, that is Mr. Nsubuga Yusuf. Thank you so much for turning up for the show. And of course, protecting our environment is a duty for all of us. If you relax and I act, we shall all be affected in the same manner. Let's join hands and let's empower government agencies. Please, please, let's see you in action. Let's see you work in consideration to the environment. Those are supposed to give information. Let's give timely information. And this, when you get this information, let's respond towards the information. From me and the entire team, up next is the quote of the day, and then Ruben will be here in the world of sports. God bless you. Have a lovely day.